بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على النبي الكريم وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the opportunity to continue our lesson in Kitab AlAkhdari. This is going to be the 14th lesson under Zuhra Education Foundation, inshallah. My name is Muhammad Salis Yaqub and we are going to continue from a very important something that we need to note, which is how to make up missed rak'ats in prayers. It is among the most important matters that every Muslim should know on how to make up the units of prayer when missed, especially men who pray in congregation. There are two principles in Maliki jurisprudence, namely qada, making up, and bina, building upon. However, in this book, we will focus on the best way to make up the units of prayer and how one's prayer will return to its origin, which is the most agreed ruling in the Maliki school. Inshallah, although we will provide detailed explanation on some matters that are in opposition to this. Rule: making up a recitation and building upon in acts of prayer, which we call al-qada'u القضاء في الأقوال والبناء في الأفعال. This implies that whatever deals with recitation in prayer, one will make it up the way it was missed, and whatever deals with the act of prayer will be built upon. Here are some examples. If an individual misses 3 rak'ats during the Isha'i prayer, he should stand and recite Fatiha and Surah aloud. That is making up a recitation, al-qada'u. Following this, he should sit for the tashahhud, that is building upon acts of prayer, that is al-bina'u. Then rise once more to recite the Fatiha and Surah aloud, that is making up a recitation. Subsequently, he should rise again and recite only Fatiha silently, then sit for the tashahhud and conclude with the salutation, which is the salam. It can be understood that he recited Fatiha and Surah aloud twice, which are characteristics of the first 2 units of prayer, and recited only the Fatiha silently, indicating that his prayer has reverted to its original state. Furthermore, it is a ruling that after every 2 units of prayer, a tashahhud is performed. Hence, his sitting after the first unit he made up, which constitutes the second rak'ah. The tashahhud was observed in accordance with the principle of bina, which is building upon. If he were to adhere strictly to the principle of qada, focusing solely on making up, then the tashahhud will not be observed. Second case: if someone finds himself in the last rak'ah of Maghrib prayer, he should stand and recite the Fatiha and Surah aloud. That is making up a recitation. Then sit for the tashahhud, which is building upon the acts of prayer, which is al-bina, followed by rising again to recite the Fatiha and Surah aloud, making up a recitation, and finally sitting for the tashahhud and performing the salutation, which is the salam. It can also be understood that the rak'ah in which he joined the imam is his last rak'ah, where only the Fatiha was silently recited. This explains why he recited the Fatiha and Surah aloud twice, indicating that his prayer has reverted to its original form. Case 3. If an individual misses the last unit rak'ah in the Isha'i prayer, having performed 3 rak'ats with the imam, he should stand and recite Fatiha and Surah silently, then sit for the tashahhud and observe the salam. If an individual misses the last rak'ah in Isha'i prayer, having performed 3 rak'ats with the imam, he should stand up and recite Fatiha and Surah silently. It can be understood that by making up the first missed rak'ah, his prayer has returned to its original state. Note: if one intends to make up their prayer using only qada, making up, or only bina, building upon, then the following will be the procedure of their prayer. Bina alone, if we are going to talk about Bina alone, like if someone attains the last rak'ah of Isha'i prayer, he rises and recites Fatiha only silently, sit for the tashahhud, rise and recite Fatiha alone silently twice, then sit for the tashahhud and observe the salam. It can be understood in this scenario that with Bina alone, after the tashahhud, one can only recite Fatiha alone without each surah, and it must be done silently because he is building upon. Also, if you turn back to Qada'i, if someone attains the last rakah of the Isha'i prayer, he rises and recites Fatiha and Surah aloud. He will not sit for the tashahhud in this case, which is where the problems comes in. Then rise again and recite Fatiha and Surah aloud. Then sit for the tashahhud. Rise again and recite Fatiha alone silently. Sit for the tashahhud and observe the salam. It can be understood that if one is observing Qada alone, it is as if he is starting his prayer from the beginning, which is why the Fatiha and Surah are recited aloud before the tashahhud is observed. In conclusion, it is best understood that the optimal approach to making up prayers is to combine the two methods using the Maliki rulings, making up a recitation and building upon in acts of prayer, which we call al-qada'u fil aqwal, al-qada'u fil aqwal, wal-bina'u fil af'al, which is the best approach as far as making up prayers is concerned. Alhamdulillah, we are done with part 1. Inshallah, we will continue with part 2, which is going to talk about forgetfulness in prayers, which is sujood as-sahwi. Alhamdulillah.